Hello everyone and welcome to SootheNest. My name is Dhruv and today we will be starting with the class 11 chapter 1, what is psychology. So let's begin. Now before we understand what psychology is, let me give you 10 seconds and guess the person whose photo I have put on the slide. Come on, quick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And time's up. Did anybody guess whose photo I have put or whose picture this is? For all the people who said Aristotle, please a round of applause for yourself. Aristotle is the right answer. This great psychologist or this great Greek philosopher is Aristotle, and he coined the term psychology, where he derived psychology as from two Greek words, psychos and logos, where psychos refers to soul and logos refers to the study of or the science. So if you combine both of them together, you get psychology, which is the study of the soul, and this was given by Aristotle. Here, this is a schematic representation of what I just said, where Aristotle, who is a Greek philosopher, first coined the term psychology in 320 BC. Imagine, 2375 years ago. Now, for the people who used to think psychology is a very recent term and it might have just developed few hundred, 200, 300 years ago, but this is 2375 years ago. Imagine how old or how ancient psychology is. And as I've mentioned, psych and logos. And these three things build the foundation, or as they act as pillars to this foundation of psychology. Now, if you see in your NCERT textbook, like I have mine here as reference, for all the class 11 psychology students who have their NCERT textbook, it's fine if you do not have it, but yeah, if you have it, it is mentioned in the introductory paragraph that psychology is knowledge discipline. Now you may ask me, Dhruv, what is knowledge discipline? And so, let me clear that out for you. Knowledge discipline is basically theoretical concepts or things which are not practically explained, but it's just written. Let me give you an example. Take history, for example. History is not practical. We have nowhere practically used history in our lives. It's just theoretical. Hence, history is called knowledge discipline. Now, why did I mention scientific discipline? If you see, when psychology was first termed around 2375 years ago, that time the students who were taught psychology were taught with this ancient definition that psychology is the study of the soul, and that is knowledge discipline. Now, due to some great people, great psychologists, we came to know that psychology is a scientific discipline. Now, scientific discipline, as I mentioned, or if I've not mentioned, scientific discipline is things which are practically proved based on maybe experiments or based on if you use instruments, or you can basically, it's scientific methods through which you can derive the result or prove a hypothesis. Now, this is a little summary of what I just mentioned before. If you see centuries ago, same 2735 years ago, if you see knowledge discipline, psychology was considered to be a knowledge discipline. Now, if I have to brief that a bit, actually, psychology, it's very interesting. Listen to me. Psychology there was nothing called psychology actually centuries ago. Psychology was not a separate physical entity, separate entity. It was considered to be a part of philosophy, where philosophy questions life, consciousness, and free will, nature of reality, etc. So this is spirituality, and psychology was a part of spirituality. There was nothing separate about psychology. So yeah, this was the earlier era. Now, after humankind achieved several feats in psychology, we developed many scientific methods, we understood many things in these 2000 years, and now, the present era, we consider psychology to be a scientific discipline. Why? Because during that time period, we used different scientific methods, instruments, and we could prove things practically. One things which were once considered to be just theoretical now could be practically proven. How great is that, isn't it? So this is very interesting. Now, if you see levels of psychological study, psychology can be studied at various levels. Now just look at this schematic representation. The innermost is individual level. Basically, psychology can be understood at individual levels. For example, if you want to understand your mind or what is going on in your mind at this certain situation, that is individual level. So that is the innermost because it has least number of people. Now, now surrounding that individual level, you have a dyadic level. That means two people, two. So now an example of this can be, let's say you are talking with your friend about anything. Let's say you have an exam tomorrow. If you're a student, you have an exam tomorrow and you're discussing it with your friend. Like maybe your friend is just panic. Oh my God, tomorrow is my exam. I have to study this. I have to do this. So now this is and even you are contributing to the conversations. Either you're also panicking that, oh my God, you're right, exam is tomorrow, or you're just consoling your friend saying, just calm, bro, chill. It's just an exam. If whatever you do, this is a conversation between two people, and this is dyadic level of psychological study, where you understand the processes, which is the mind processes occurring between two people. Now, surrounding the dyadic level, you have group level, the one marked in orange, group level. So, group is a collection of many people. Now, I can't give you a better example than your classroom. Again, if you're a student or if you were once a student, of course you would be in a classroom, right? So, now in a classroom, it's not just you. You have many peers, be it 20 students in your class, 30, 40, 60, 70, 100. How many ever students? You're in a group. Now, let's say the teacher wants to understand what is the average understanding of the class of a certain concept or a topic. So this is where group level psychological study works, or it uh, is it is used. Like let's say you there is a certain concept which is taught by a teacher to a class of, let's say, 30 students. Now, if a psychologist wants to understand how much did this X class understand this concept average, they do this group level study where they collect information as a group, and then they project an average, which is the resultant. So this was just an example. Now, surrounding group level is organizational psychology, or you can say at organizational level. Now, one example can be workplace settings. Now, if any of your parents are working in a corporate office, or if you yourself are working in a corporate office, you would understand this, as you one was individual level, where it's just you or your friend or just one person. Then comes dyadic level, which is two people. And then comes group level, which is a lot of people filled in one group. And now comes organizational, which is group of people. Now, what I mean by this is, if you see in a corporate company, let's say any company, you will have many departments in the company, and each department will have its own groups. So it forms an organization. Now, you can understand psychology at even organizational level, and this is actually done too by organizational psychologists, which I will be telling you in the coming lectures. So yeah, this is levels of psychological study. Now, okay, what is this? As I mentioned earlier to you, the great Greek philosopher Aristotle, he had given a definition in 230 BC that psychology is the study of soul. But as we learnt already, or as we learned previously, that psychology was a scientific was a knowledge discipline during that time, and hence this definition was also pretty theoretical. Now, due to advancements and developments in the field of psychology by these great psychologists and few much more who you see on the slide, now because of their contributions, especially Wilhelm Wundt, who you see over in the center, he was the guy who built the first psychology laboratory in Leipzig in the 1800s. So he gave the big contribution, but along with him, few more popular psychologists. So with their contribution, we got we understood that psychology is a scientific discipline, as we proved it, as we can prove many hypotheses or many concepts in psychology in a scientific manner. So then we got a modern definition. That was the ancient definition. Now we got a new definition. And that definition was coined by Aristotle. This definition, not one person gave, like, it's not like a specific person gave. It is just a general consideration of a definition. So this definition says that psychology is a study which studies mental processes, experiences, and behavior, that is human behavior, in different contexts. Now, you might be asking me, okay, but how does psychology study mental processes, experiences, and behavior? Just how? I understood that it does study these things, but how does mental processes, experiences, and behaviors, how do they act as subjects of study for psychology? Now, my friends, I would really love to cover that now, but the video is already getting a bit lengthy. I know 10 minutes is not that lengthy, but I want to cover each subtopic in a detailed way, and I want everybody who's watching this to develop as much interest as I am teaching with right now, or you can say we are learning with this right now. So this I will be covering in the next class, which is on Wednesday, as tomorrow I will be uploading a video on something new, something interesting apart from NCERT. It's going to be something else. It's going to be something interesting. So that you got to, of course, wait for it. I cannot reveal it now. Other than that, this what we'll be learning. See, we'll be learning about mental processes specifically on Wednesday. That is 2 days later. Then again, 2 days later, we'll be learning about experiences, human experiences, and again, so you get the chronology. Anyway, ah, oh, what do we have here? This, my friends, is something which I thought would be interesting. This is called the Creativity Corner. See, one thing is covering the theoretical concepts of the syllabus, NCERT syllabus, and the other is to spark some interest or curiosity in you Now, if you're a student, if you are an adult, or even if you are a mature adult, whatever age you are, whatever gender you are, this creativity corner is for everyone. Everyone. And I would really like if you could take some time out of your schedule, busy schedule, and just give some time to this. Maybe 5 minutes max. Because it's not, I want you to do it for yourself, not just for me or for anybody. Because I want you to inculcate this interest in learning about psychology. So this would help you. And I would really want you to be helped, or I want to add a contribution into your life. So anyway, coming back to this question of the day. So we discussed psychology as a knowledge discipline, but there is a line in NCERT, if you have, that knowledge discipline is hard to define. So what I want to know is why. Why is it so that knowledge discipline is hard to define? This I want you to answer in the comment box of YouTube, of course. And I will be covering this day after tomorrow, that is on Wednesday. I will be uploading the answer to this, and let's see how many of you got it right. And whoever gets it right, their comment will be liked, of course, and I would reply. I would give you a sweet reply. Now, one thing is question of the day, and please don't take this as pressure. This is pleasure. I want you to enjoy. I want you to take. You don't have to take too much pressure or just be like, oh my god, no, I have to search this now and it's a load. No, it's fun. You'll get a little learning, a little a little knowledge, and knowledge is never waste. Now coming to activity of the day. So this activity is called optical illusion challenge, and the concept used is perception. So now what I want you to do in this is you got to look up some famous optical illusions on the internet. For example, I've given you a few examples like the Muller liar illusion or the Rubin vase, and try to explain the psychological principles behind these optical illusions. You can maybe discuss it with your parents, or if you have any siblings or your friends or anybody. Or even if you don't want to discuss, just learn it for your sake. And please explain it to me if you get the time, or if you're really willing to explain. And variation is just an extra thing, where if you're really excited or really passionate about this, then you can create your own illusion by by drawing it or using computer tools. So this would help you. This is not, I don't want you to take psychology just as a theoretical concept or just a subject which you want to write an exam on and crack it or whatever. I want psychology to be flowing through you. It should create some interest, some excitement into your life, if you get what I mean. So this, I believe I have put in my work, and this is what you should be doing now. And I would really like it would really be beneficial for you as well if you would do this. And yeah, anyway, I had a lot of fun recording this video. It was really great. And whoever, I know it has been a very long video, and I'm really grateful for whoever have stayed this long. This shows your genuine passion and interest towards psychology, and I'm really happy that you stayed this long. And yeah, we are done with today's learnings. Thank you everybody for staying with me till 19 minutes. Thank you everyone. And be prepared, because tomorrow I will be covering something which is not an NCERT, but definitely not boring. It will be amazing. It will just be wonderful if you stick with me, if you just take out the time, because psychology requires patience. If you just have patience and listen to me, and if you want, you can listen to this recording over and over again. If you just have patience, be calm, everything will be fine, life will be amazing, and you'll just fall in love with psychology like I did. Until then, once again, thank you everyone, and I will be seeing you tomorrow. Goodbye and have a nice day.